Thank you for joining me. These will be my thoughts on Marvel Zombies Season 1, Episode 3, simply titled Episode 3. The episode is rated TVMA, so will this video be. There will be spoilers for these first 3 episodes. I haven't watched the 4th one so far. And potentially everything MCU leading up to it and adjacent. And another episode I absolutely fucking loved. So I thought they did a good job of. Let's see. 3/4 of the way through lowest end, we get there. You know, the whole thing that we thought was the solution turns out to have been all in vain. This kind of thing works well, not just in zombie stories, not even just in horror stories, but just in a lot of stories in general. I'm not saying all stories should have them. Let's see. But the hopelessness works really well in zombie dystopia media. I think that might bring us to the, let's see. This episode we also see what happens. You know, we finally, after all this time, get an answer to what happened with zombie Thanos, and I think that might. There's not much left. It was very cool. This thing of having all these people as guardians, I guess, turn into zombies, not because they're bitten, but because they ate zombie flesh. And that's also a nice, gnarly, nasty. You know, the show's going for the hard R, and it gets there. I think that might more or less bring us to, as usual, a lot of great character moments and interactions. I think that brings us to the scene by scene stuff. I am not gonna lie, I am not on principle against narration. I think it works extremely well in a lot of movies. Like off the top of my head, I love it in the 2003 movie Monster, the Charlize Theron, Patty Jenkins movie. I felt like it was largely unnecessary here. Like you basically, let's see, I think you needed verbalizing of the thing about, the stones being destroyed released a bunch of energy. But other than, and it's, I don't know, I feel like that could have just been said by one of the characters instead of, but yeah. I get, okay, they're at the end, he was telling the story to others. I don't think you needed, okay, hypothetically, you could have just had the very end where, he could say the last several words of the narration as it is now, and then you cut to, and then he says, and that's the story so far, I really felt like the visuals illustrated everything, nearly everything that the narration covered. I don't know, maybe it was also the fact that they did want T'Challa to say Wakanda Forever for the very last time, and they obviously did not have this was after the very tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, and I can see how maybe it felt wrong to use one of the other, because he did say Wakanda Forever. They have recordings of that from other of his performances, but I can appreciate it might have felt wrong to do that. And I was very against when they brought back Leia using really creepy technology. So yeah, I'm glad that is the thing. Like they haven't really, Disney owns both Marvel and Star Wars, but it's really only been in Star Wars that they've done the creepy that particular creepy thing. They've done creepy things. Fuck Disney. They can go fuck until they treat their employees better, and maybe stand up to Trump for once in a while. Just see how it feels. Try it on for size. Maybe you'll like it. It feels good to fight fascists, but yeah, I don't know. Just felt unnecessary, and I hate to say that because I do think narration can be really amazing. And I like, Peter Parker, so yeah. I did appreciate seeing this, you know, like, you're gonna have to work really, really hard to convince me not to love seeing heroes fighting Thanos, you know? And it was a cool sort of variation of this thing of like, oh, zombie Thanos is not using them as well, but he does also learn, you know. Um, and let's see, I think, does that pretty well bring us to the, yeah, just a lot of really great stuff during the fight. One of my favorite moves was Spider-Man yanking the Rock above Thanos onto him, smashing him. The part where T'Challa is jumping on the little platforms to get to Thanos really made me want to replay for the, I don't know, seventh fucking time. I'm pretty sure I have beaten at least a half dozen times by now. The Two Thrones, Prince of Persia, the Two Thrones. And of course, the a lot of the other action made me consider playing some more Marvel's Avengers, the 2020 game, as usual. But yeah, some really great stuff. Love the Kirby dots. We went cosmic. Um, let's see yeah, um, Thor getting to fight Thanos. Because that is a cool, like we got a little bit of that. Well, I guess here it's also really only a little bit. They're doing the thing. They like doing the thing. So I recently watched. I watch pretty much anything Anthony Gramuglia does these days. He did a video. Let's see. I think it was called "What is the opposite of a plot hole?" And he showed a great clip that makes me reconsider. I did, for some reason, unsubscribe from Linkara. Anyway, yeah, there was a Linkara video where he said the story is eating. That let's see, I think that was DC eating itself, and Gramulia Ant said continuity eating itself. Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit what's happening here because he should have gone for the head. Zombie Thanos isn't as chatty, so he doesn't say that. But yeah, Thor is, moping for a while, and then he triumphantly returns to redeem his failure to stop Thanos. Just, I don't know. At this point, I'm glad that they do sometimes do something that's different. Because some of these, they really do just reuse, remakes stuff from that we've already seen. Yeah, some really great stuff. I like the Spider-Man grabbing the axe and using, and the fact that ultimately, he ends up going into the reactor, and the rings. That's right. Jesus, the rings come later in the. They come later. in the episode, but the stones, that's it. Yeah, destroyed, releasing energy, um, which also, I guess there's gonna be something dealing with that maybe in the next episode. I don't know if it feels a little late to introduce such a major element, but I guess, um, I mean, there was enough plot in the first two episodes. I mean, we know that Disney sometimes will, like, suddenly decide, no, there should be less episodes in this season, and then animators have to just, and not always animators, but the people working on the shows have to figure out how the fuck do we make that happen. So maybe there was something here that, yeah, anyway. But yeah, Peter is with the wizards, and I still really appreciate seeing the Minotaur. Um, yeah, and they're keeping an eye on the Queen of the Dead. So I feel like there's a chance they're gonna, you know, in the present day, such as it is in MCU, they're going to play a more active role in the finale. And this was just like bringing us up to speed on what happened and where they are and such. Uh, yeah, very cool with the the other group reach land. That is interesting. So yeah, both episodes 2 and 3 did this thing of like spending some time focusing on a different group. Um, I don't know. I think it works for these two. Yeah, they they get to land, and I want to say it's Jimmy Woo. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm struggling to remember which character did what. I think it was Jimmy Woo. One of the characters, yeah, jumps out and reenacts the gag that, I'm sorry, Robin Hood Men in Tights did better. Kissing the land and yeah, kissing the beach. Um, and let's see, I think the does that pretty well get us to the so yeah, they get to New Asgard. Um, I, as a lover of Norse myth, I thought they did some really great things here. The gigantic fucking gate, not just a small door or something. Not even a reasonably sized gate. It's just fucking massive. And they're New Asgard is like behind this massive mountain or in the mountain maybe or something like that, and all they do is drink, eat, fight, just yeah, that's there's it feels like they made Valhalla essentially. That is the way that Valhalla is yeah described, I guess is the word I'm looking for. um the greatest warriors are there, and all they do all day long, let's say they fight all day every day, and then at night they rest and recover for the next day, which is also going to be nonstop fighting. So yeah, that felt that is one thing. The MCU has not always captured Norse myth, and I appreciate they weren't always trying to, but I'm not trying to like glaze them or anything, obviously, as mentioned earlier. Uh, but yeah, I, as a Scandinavian, I do appreciate when our mythology is represented like this. Okay, then we have, okay, so we get the first of two interminable MCU-style comedy scenes. Um, yeah, it was like the joke at the very end of Fantastic Four. You know, I love most things about that movie, but that ending gag, Jesus Christ. I do appreciate it made for a very effective TV spot, but like you didn't need to have it in the movie for that. You know, I mean, sometimes the trailers will show shit that's not in the final movie. Happened a lot with that particular movie. But yeah, the them trying to talk their way into New Asgard, especially before Ms. Marvel starts talking, and also there at the end when you know she's trying to figure out which button to push, just like felt like it would never end. And I get that they want to, you know, with this show as with earlier, not as much more recently, which I do really appreciate, but yeah, they want to undercut the emotional moment with a joke. They think that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, uh, I get that. I wish they wouldn't, but they will. But I don't think they have to be so fucking repetitive and tedious with it. Just it's especially because it's the same joke. It's just like, you know, so at the gate it's like, oh, they're saying something, but it's not super helpful, and they're not really getting anywhere. And with the button, it's like, is it that button? No, it's not that button. It's the other button. And it's just like, okay, we get it. You know, just because like literally you could have just had, if you want the undercut, you know, like um yeah, the thing about, you know, where's your invitation, and if just none of them speak for a few seconds, that could be, you know, the joke. And then Kamala starts talking to Valkyrie, and there at the end it's just like, oh, which button do I press? That one. And then it's, you know, that's the joke. She didn't know which button to push, now she does. Just yeah. That is one thing I do think about these let's see. Is it all the animated shows? I don't think. Let's see. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man wasn't too bad in this regard, but this and What If were both pretty bad in this regard. And yeah, I hope in the future they will not. Right, the acting is, as per usual, fantastic. Love that they brought back so many from the movies and managed to give them something interesting. Yeah, um, I do really love that it is Kamala who goes and says, "No, please, you have to help us." You know, like literally, you know, Valkyrie is saying, you know, GTFO, don't make me castle doctrine you, you know. And Kamala's like, no, we came this far. This has to work. You know, it's this mix of optimism and a sort of like reluctance to let something bad happen. You know, and yeah, it fits her character. It's, you know, in part it's just like a youth thing. You know, her spirit hasn't been broken by capitalism yet, but yeah, it absolutely fits her character. I really appreciate that she remains so hopeful in spite of hardship. Absolutely, just like the other appearances we've seen by her in the MCU. Yeah, nice to see Khonshu again. Um, that was also a moment where at least that one wasn't like interminable, but I didn't think they really needed to undercut, especially because the joke like goes away from them. I think it would have been funnier if like just like instead of, because there's like several seconds of them chatting where we don't really hear what they're saying because we're seeing somebody else talk. And also the thing about, oh, you know, who are they talking, who is she talking to, is the imaginary friend real? Oh, I don't see why not. Yeah, exactly, you don't, why not? This is a universe with so much more ridiculous. I wish that they had gotten to why not sooner. Thor gets to enough fast. I wish they had gotten to a why not fast also. Because again, like, you want to undercut it, just have it be, Khonshu shows up. Has the world changed so much that Asgard no longer recognizes my status as a deity? And then Valkyrie just goes, right, open the gate. Just that's it. That would be that could be the joke. Anyway, yeah. Do appreciate the idea that they know each other and actually, like, because she doesn't act like she's never. You kind of get the sense that she's maybe met him before, or at least heard a lot about him, because it sounds like there's some history or something there. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think that might, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they ran into each other at there was that one place in Thor: Love and Thunder where all the gods congregate. Maybe at some point Valkyrie went there, or well, let's see. I guess it wasn't Thor because he was disappointed at Zeus, so he hadn't met Zeus, or maybe Zeus wasn't always present when they, whatever. Some god, some Asgardian went there, chatted up Khonshu, and told Valkyrie and other Asgardians about it. That's yeah, I appreciate that bit of like world building, lore kind of thing, and without them feeling the need to get like super into detail, because it's not really. What do you need that for? It's just fun that they know. But yeah, they get to come in, and yeah, holy shit. Okay, so one of the people partying there is being held upside down and punched repeatedly in the stomach. So I guess he's about to become a full-fledged member of the Proud Boys? No, wait, that can't be it, because he's not naming all the cereals. I know that they're silly in order to get us to not take them seriously. They're doing, they certainly do come across that way. Obviously, we should still take them seriously. They are the brown shirts. They are helping Trump's, yeah, ascendancy to fascism, dragging down America with him. Anyway, other than that, they live in a they are safe in there from the zombies, at least until some of the events of this episode, obviously. And they literally say, we don't really, it's a bummer to deal with the problems out there. I have been accused, sometimes fairly, of overanalyzing. I feel like this is definitely meant to represent, and it's, again, Disney trying to like woke wash. Obviously, they don't really mean it, but those are like those, wealthy people who talk about like getting a bunker and such, right? I mean, there's no way that that's not what that is, because like they didn't have to. They could have just said that the Asgardians killed as many zombies as they could. Yeah, maybe every so often they go out and they kill zombies, and right now they're just resting. Instead of walking through a party, they could be walking through like a medical tent, and you could still have the twist that they're becoming zombies. It's just that the medical tent was, instead of medicine, they were putting zombie guts into, but no, okay, so shit. I worry sometimes I'm misunderstood. So I want to try to make clear. I'm not saying this is bad writing. I'm saying it's purposeful, and I don't want to appreciate it too much because I don't want to let Disney off the hook, but I do hope that a number of people see this and like become aware that there's fucking people in the real world acting like this right fucking now. We're not dealing with zombies, but we almost might as well be. Like, there's a lot of bad shit going on in the world. Um, Recently I've heard multiple different people point out Reagan was at obviously fuck Reagan. He fucked America up so bad. It hasn't been fixed since, and it's gonna take a long time before it is fixed. But even he was actually more like, the yeah, he had the bombing stopped. And today, tens of thousands of Palestinians murdered by the IDF. Yes, murdered, not just like, oh, they just happened to die. Notice how like a lot of mainstream media will use like passive language, like they died, or that it doesn't say IDF killed them, even though that's what happened. They target children. I'm gonna direct you to Zeteo, Mehdi Hassan. Amazing coverage of Israel, really taking to task some of the people who, yeah, um, people who are or were high in Israeli government. Uh, okay, obligatory. I don't hate Jewish people. It's Zionists I take issue with. Not all Jewish people are Zionists. Many Zionists are not Jewish. Um, yeah. If you are Jewish and Zionists, please try to reconsider. There is a lot of media that can help explain why, if what I've just said wasn't enough. Yeah, you can become part of, the movement to make things right. You don't have to support a genocide. Uh, but yeah, so I think I've said what I thought they did a good job building up the thing about, we saw Thor fail, and then we see him, just sitting there, and Kamala tries to get to him, and, Valkyrie stops her, and we have the thing about, he doesn't move. Um, and yeah, Alexei and Valkyrie both. Yeah, it's probably not super sensitive to this important subject that they are functioning alcoholics, and it's played for laughs so much of the time. I do appreciate at least some of the time it's taken at least slightly seriously, and it does acknowledge the problems that come with that. But yeah, the fact that both of them, and they're again, it's this thing of like taking characters who have things in common, putting them together, and having, and she's like, oh, you reek of spirits. Do you have any more? I've been rationed. Um, and also the part earlier. Again, wish they didn't undermine it with humor, but it is it is an important subject to cover. So I really appreciated. Yeah, they straight up acknowledged, and that's another thing you can do with the R rating. It's not all fun and flying, limbs and guts and shit. You can actually look directly in the eye some of the most unpleasant, but also important to cover because they're real life problems, subjects. And yeah, Kamala Khan talking Alexei out of suicide, because he feels like there's nothing. He feels like he has nothing left. And if you are watching this and you need to hear it, if you are considering any kind of self-harm, it doesn't, even if it's not reached suicidal ideation, there are people you can talk to, even if you don't feel like you have anyone in your own life. Please reach out to someone. There are phone lines in a lot of different places around the world. If you can Google to find out which what is the number for you for your local one. Um, yeah, please don't harm yourself. And the fact he sits there. He says, I will finish the vodka for Yelena, and then I will drink the sea, and then I will die, and then I will be with my bear again. This is something that actually happens when someone feels like they've lost everything. If it, for example, a loved one, and yeah, losing your offspring has to be one of the worst things imaginable for any parent. Um, and yeah, the fact that she manages to convince him because she has that optimism, she has that enthusiasm. She's like, we can do this though. It's right. We're gonna get to New Asgard. We're gonna get the ship. We're gonna fix everything. And then you have the thing with we honor them with every breath we take. And then we have the annoying. Listen, a lot of the time I laugh at the jokes. Sometimes I really don't think they're necessary. For one thing, I found a lot funny during the party scene, for example, because it felt like, oh, this is actually like supporting, my, or as I described, this idea that it's maybe talking about how maybe fuck those rich people who are, eat the rich, because they really don't give a shit about us. Um, but yeah, you have the thing about, oh, that was said by a wise man, me. And again, the acting, I wouldn't rule out that they straight up did have both actors in the sound booth. This, yeah, I think it is. Is it called the sound booth if there's more than one person? I forget. Fuck it. Yeah. Because they really play off each other so well. It's such a natural, and again, it is because like one of Alexei's defining features is, like this father figure, big teddy bear kind of thing. He, if there is a young woman who needs his encouragement or just help with something, yeah, like he just needs, all she really needed was to dig in there and find it, find the part in him that can extend it to her. I'm not saying that would necessarily be that difficult for him, but it's just, he just lost his yeah, he just lost Yelena. I think that brings us to, so yeah, they have the conversation. the yeah, the Queen of Sokovia. There is no Queen of Sokovia. No, Wanda Maximoff. Very, very cool twist. And she also does fantastic. Yeah. I really appreciate that. I mean, I don't know if she, I forget if she's ever expressed that she wanted to get back out. I feel like I've heard that she just doesn't know if the character is coming back in the main continuity in it, or at least we'll get like maybe a flashback or a dream or something. It's unclear if that'll happen. But the fact that she does, like, she really shows up for these. She's not phoning it in. Like a lot of people might say, well, I mean, you fucking killed off my character, motherfucker, and now you expect me to come in and do. She does amazing. Like she is such a talented actor. So glad that they really did score big time, getting someone with that caliber of talent. Yeah, I think that brings us to the so yeah, she shows up and she looks normal. and she has the conversation. You've seen him in your dreams. And now we know that's why she keeps having those dreams. She had them in the first two episodes, both episodes. And yeah, the thing about you're a zombie. Well, everybody thinks that you're a zombie, and yeah, Valkyrie is like, you're a fucking zombie. What the fuck, and then she says, I need soldiers. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. That yeah. And we see people start to turn, and she reveals that all the food, because she's the one who brought them the feast, which also, it's one of those things like the what's the word, once they the last episode, Shang-Chi and the others uh revealed that they had the answer to where's the beef. And it was a big deal that they had actual living, animals that they could turn into food. And now they have a lot of food there. Yeah, how did that happen? And it turns out that, yeah, she has an easy time finding zombie parts. And yeah, the fact that Alexei, because like, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, we don't really care that much about the rest of these Valhalla cosplay motherfuckers. um yeah, I think, I feel like one of them might as well have said, oh, let them eat cake. Well, let you eat zombie parts. And yes, I am aware, that was not something that Marie Antoinette herself actually said. It was like, because there's like, it's been found in a book that's like, it was written before her. Yeah. Anyway, I think that brings us to the yeah, the Alexei, we really don't want to see, and yeah, at first, like, he seems maybe fine, um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, fuck, it's not the what's the word? I'll have it momentarily. I'm certain of it. The Yeah, they played that exactly right. He's not quite, like, for a while we just want to hope against hope that somehow he was not, you know that, I don't know, because like he is, what's the word, he has the his what's the word, his constitution is stronger on account of the yeah, the super soldier serums, so maybe he can resist, but I don't know. Um, there are very few who can resist getting dead alived. Um, yeah, I think that pretty well brings us. Yeah, very cool when Valkyrie goes in for the attack and is stopped with the telekinesis, and then yeah, she's thrust back, and Valkyrie comes back, and the thing with Thor is like surrounded. Um, Zemo killed by his heart getting ripped out and crushed. Didn't know he had one, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a deliberate reference, but I'll read it as this motherfucker got Terminated. Damn, I'm here for it. He didn't even have to give up his his clothes now. But the let's see. I think that also had some of the best gore. There's one part where someone is, and I thought I I forget which, but I think it might have even been a character we knew that, like, yeah, just arms and legs ripped off, head ripped off, and yeah, Jimmy Woo dies. And yeah, the others, make a run for it, and they get to the ship, and then Alexei, yeah, the poor guy, he ate too much finger food. And that I also appreciated, the fact that, he said, "Oh, I ate so many fingers." It's a morbid joke. It's an MCU style, this thing of like, oh, we have something serious. Oh, there's something funny, but at least it's a morbid joke. I appreciate that when they do that instead of just the ones that, like, a lot of the jokes in yeah, the interminable joke sequences I mentioned, those could have appeared in one of the many, many PG-13 entries in the MCU movie, show. Yeah. And then we have the yeah, so they that was also very effectively sad, and that's, yeah, um there has not been a huge amount. Is that the first one, maybe, where someone turns into a zombie right in front of, someone that we cared about, and we're not just seeing, oh, they are now a zombie, we're seeing them become a zombie. We spent time with them as a human, and now, yeah, but very, very effective. Because yeah, I mean, he's been in all 3 episodes so far. So, and yeah, at first, Kamala can barely, she puts up the shield, but it's several seconds before she has it in her to shove him away. We again have zombies jumping from high above. Evidently, that's a motif the people working on this quite like. I think that might bring us to the yeah. So yes, they get on the ship and try to fly. And yeah, that was also, god damn, why are there so many it is a specific episode. I wish they had at least spread them out a little bit more. Yeah, we have another thing, everyone is a backseat driver, and Valkyrie's like, I'm doing the thing, everybody shut up. And just, again, just have like one joke, just, yeah. Because, like, I'm not even sure you necessarily need anyone to say anything. Like, have the big heroic moment of oh, they're flying away, and then it just stops. And if nobody says anything, and then we see the ship be pulled down, I think a lot of people would laugh at that, yeah, it's suddenly stopping. I forget. I think that ship was on Sakaar in the Ragnarok movie, maybe. I feel like we've seen it before, at least, but yeah, she's using her magic to drag them back down, and then Thor shows up and fights off, and that's, again, for a good reason. We've never really had them. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't have been impossible to have them fight in Age of Ultron, maybe, but other than that, and Thor had other things to deal with in that movie. But yeah, seeing the two of them fight, very, very cool. Because it is one of those things, like, she can probably tank a lot, and yeah, just that was very, very cool. And right, so yeah, they get up there, and the thing about, oh, it's very small. Oh, but size doesn't matter, which is also, yeah, plot does matter. And she puts on the thing, and there's the button press, and then they show up, and it's like, and she says it would have taken weeks. They were already there. They are there to stop them from leaving the planet. And yeah, um, effective uh, cliffhanger. That's the word. Um, I knew it was a Stallone movie. I was like 2 seconds away from saying Copland, Rambo. But the does Copland count as a Stallone movie? I'm pretty sure he's in it, but I don't know if it's anyway. Uh, I just didn't want to go obvious and say Rocky. That's all. Anyway, I think that um, really makes me wonder if it was always the plan to release them on the same day, or if there was supposed to be like a week between, because it feels a little silly to have a big cliffhanger and then, oh, you can just go on and watch the next. I don't know, I guess it's the Netflix model. Anyway, yes, I am in the certain belief that, yeah, I don't have much more to say about the episode. So yeah, it was that's a very effective because like not only okay, so they knew all along, they were there, they could have helped and they didn't, and now they're threatening to attack the good guys. Um, you have 10 seconds to comply. I'm glad somebody else is rewatching RoboCop 1. It shouldn't be forgotten. It was so fucking prophetic. It's not even funny. Like, Jesus Christ. Um, but yeah, that is a very effective, because like I genuinely am not sure how it's going to, so yeah. Um, they quarantined the infected area, which is pointed out right after a pretty funny Simpsons reference in a very carefully planned and timed shot. Yeah, I can't really say which movie I'm talking about without spoiling. I think that might just about be it. Right. So I've already made one reference, another for the thing about accidentally eating some kind of zombie-ish thing. Other than the reference I already made, yeah, it also feels like something that could have happened in an Evil Dead or other Sam Raimi, kind of movie. So that's yeah, quite appreciate that. Um, the title bit also does feel very Evil Dead. Um, might even be same or similar font. Probably similar because they don't have the rights to that, do they? Otherwise, they probably would use it. Yeah, I think that might pretty well cover. Yeah, I think yes. I am gonna do the last episode very soon. Looking forward to it. And yeah, I said it before, but yeah, that I think it bears repeating for this episode as well. Just phenomenal acting. Um, I mean, really all around. David Harbour really sells the sadness. Like, think about this is a character that in some ways is inherently silly. It's hard to take him seriously, and yet, like I do think it would have been so fucked up if they actually did play for laughs him considering suicide. But even so, yeah, they don't, and yeah, he sells it. And Iman Vellani talking him down, talking him off the ledge, also phenomenal acting. Yeah, but the yeah, when Thor is telling them, fly, you fools, that he won't join them in the ship, which is also like, I mean, yeah, he kind of has to, like, they can't fly as long as she's, trying to hold them in place. So he kind of does need, I don't know, I guess hypothetically he could stand on the wing, but at some point he's going to get out of range of her, so it's better this way. And he does also point out, listen, evidently the people working on this show are really dedicated to having a non-zero number per episode of someone heroically sacrificing themselves. I wasn't able to do it earlier this episode. I'm doing it now. Do it now. Do it live. And I do also appreciate the idea of with the Nova Corps, we always had this, like, let's see, I want to say it's the first Guardians movie that Rocket calls them fascists. Very cool seeing Rocket, like, obviously, I'm not happy about it. It's fucked up, but I don't watch zombie media to not see something fucked up. But yeah, him just getting fucking fried, turned into a skeleton and then ash. What an ash hole. The zombie Thanos was being Xanos. Vanby? Yeah, I think the so yeah, the idea that they wouldn't help during this, but rather just let, only prevent people from leaving, because they might be bringing the infection with them. That does feel like something that makes some sense. We also did see like a genuinely fascistic, I guess we don't know how much of a fascist state they are in the main MCU continuity, because we don't really see that much of them. But yeah, the what's the word? The let's see. There's that the Blade Runner-esque episode of What If. But I think that might bring us to, so yeah. Interesting, and feels like it does fit. Like, hypothetically, if it had been the Nova Corps just partying whilst people were dying, that would have felt like, really? Like, I mean, I'm sure they have some leisure activity, but no, they would be the cop that stops them, Yeah. And I don't know exactly how they're gonna get out of the situation, because the countdown did get to, they like, they said, you have, like 1 second. I don't know. I guess it's not impossible they're going to do that thing that parents sometimes do, where they'll go, oh, they didn't respond even as I counted down. Okay, 0.5, 0.4 seconds left. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm not sure they're actually going to kill off all of these characters. I don't know. It's not impossible. And honestly, based on how the show has been so far, I wouldn't rule out that they're going to spend a chunk of the first chunk of the finale on another group, like maybe the Spider-Man group, for example, and then only after we've seen that for a bit do we get to see if the Asgardian ship really did fall victim to the fact that tragically Valkyrie graduated with honors from the X-Men 2 school of not responding when there is an armed vessel giving you like a direct followable order, including a threat. If you don't comply.